So what happens when company A closes down and they had your pension? What happens when your company C closes down and they had your pension? Retrieving this money becomes very difficult. That is why we tell you, immediately you exit, create an IPP, and then call off all these pensions from different schemes to be put under one account so that you can be monitoring.
Hi everyone, I hope this video finds you well. My name is Martin, in case you are here for the first time. Na sisi ni watu wa insurance. We do civic education as well as reviews on insurance, especially within the Kenyan market. Now we are super excited to have this conversation today because we are talking about something that is very important for employees, and most people really don't have information in regards to how to handle your pension once you transfer from one company to the other, or even you are umefutwa kazi, umeambiwa sasa kazi imeisha, and now you go to the next company. What happens to your pension from your previous employer? So that's the question that we want to tackle today. But before we get into the conversation, I really want to appreciate you for keeping us in check, and that is keep sending us, for those of you who have been sending us questions, the insurance, you give us a reason to do these videos because we respond to the questions that you send us. So as well, in this video we want to request you that you keep those questions coming because we want to help you understand insurance better, because when you understand, you're able to buy from a point of understanding. Make sure to like this video, share, leave a comment, in what else? Share, leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that every time we post a video, you not miss out. Without wasting much time, let's get into the video. Karibu sana Bwana Moi.
Thank you, Martin.
Yes.
And again, let me echo what you've said.
Yes.
We want to appreciate you for the support and those questions you keep on sending. They guide us on our conversation.
Yes.
And today we want to delve on this particular subject. That is IPP, or what really happens, or what should you do in the event you've moved out of your current employer.
Yes.
And basically we have quite a number of things you can do. First of all, you are allowed to cash out.
Yes.
It's a part of your money. But it is always important we start from the genesis of all this. Where does it begin?
Yes.
Where does it end, or what you do?
Yes.
So today, let me go a little bit backwards.
Yes.
And we start from the point what HR sees while choosing these schemes.
Or maybe we can, before we get there, sorry to cut you short, I think it's important we acknowledge that probably there are those people who are watching this video and they haven't watched our previous videos.
All right.
Remember we had covered the subject on pension and provident fund.
Yeah, sure.
So just to do a recap, what's the difference between a pension and a provident fund? Because I understand different companies go for different plans.
Yeah, sure. So this is where we begin. Basically, when your HR here is choosing for your scheme, he looks at different needs for his staff. That is where he begins. And what he does is that he approaches an insurance company. And usually insurance companies have two options a HR can choose. Number one is something called provident fund. And number two is something called pension fund. Those are the two options the HR has. Now, when the HR chooses provident fund, this is what basically it means. That at the time of exit, or once you hit your retirement age, you will access 100% of what the employer and what you have been saving as deductions.
Yes.
Remember, every month you see a deduction from your payslip indicating pension. So you are deducted something, HR also remits something on behalf of employer, and that money goes towards either of these funds. So at the time of exit, when he chooses provident fund, you will get 100%. But if he chooses pension fund, what you'll access is a 1/3, and then 2/3 you don't have a lot of control over this. So 1/3 is what you get as a lump sum, and 2/3 you can only buy with it either annuity or something called IDD, income drawdown. So what is the difference? So 1/3 you get as a lump sum. That one you can be able to utilize it however you want. But 2/3 you don't have any control. I must say this, I must stress on that. You don't have any control over this fund. So you are advised either to do an annuity or income drawdown, and these two solutions can only be done by an insurance company. No other institution does it. So for annuity, what it does is that you are placing a lump sum amount, because it is, you see, it's a huge chunk. It's the biggest chunk actually. So you are placing that lump sum amount with an insurance company. In return, the insurance company will be paying you on monthly basis until death. Up to that point we are together. While IDD is very similar to annuity, but this one, you are placing the same lump sum amount of money with an insurance company. In return, insurance company will be giving you some monthly income, not until death, but until a certain period comes to lapse. 10 years. So the insurance company may stay with your money for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, giving you monthly income. But once that time expires, you get the balance as a lump sum, which you can cash out. Alternatively, you can actually buy annuity using the balance.
But at that point, you can exit completely.
Yeah.
For example, you have chosen an IDD
of 10 years.
Of 10 years,
Yes.
And you have been given to that point, 10 years.
Yes.
You can withdraw.
You can now cash out.
Cash out,
You can cash out 100%.
And you have the liberty now to use the way you want.
Yes, exactly. So that is the major difference. But we have done a video on these two, and what is the difference, what are the benefit of each. So basically that gives us the background on which now to discuss IPP, because IPP provident fund and pension funds are all kitties set aside for a retirement. When we talk of IPP, this is for unemployed or people who have exited.
Oh, yes.
This is self-employed individuals. This is for employed. This is for employed. So if you have you are working in a certain institution and you have exited, what you are advised to do is to get an IPP. What is an IPP? It's basically an account you create as an individual, so that it can help you assemble all the pensions from the previous employers into this kitty IPP. Yeah. So this one, because from where we sit, you cannot cash out. If, for example, you are working with a company called what company can we use as an example? Let's say Jellic. And you are working with this company called Jellic. Yeah. And then you have worked maybe for 10 years. Yeah, up to that point we are together. You have worked for 10 years for Jellic company. Then you have exited. If you're below 50 years, remember you are not allowed to cash out your pension. until you hit the age of 50. That is when you are allowed now to cash out. So what happens is this: you are allowed by the RBA or Retirement Benefit Authority to access up to 50% of what you have contributed. And then the balance, you must place it on what we call IPP. But you will still find that yes, you exit. You exit a certain. You exit from company A. Then you just leave without opening an IPP. What will happen is this: even if you hit age 60, and because you had not created this, you will have to go back to your previous employer.
All employers one by one.
And
start claiming.
So what happens is this: our individual pension fund, this is it. What or how it helps you is this: you have worked for company A, B, C, D, E. This IPP helps you to consolidate all this money into this one account, so that you are able to track the entire portfolio under
One account.
And the beauty about this is creating an IPP helps you to do what is important when you still have time. Remember, all this company, you don't have a guarantee that in the next 20 years they will still be there. So what happens when company A closes down and they had your pension? What happens when your company C closes down and they had your pension? Retrieving this money becomes very difficult. That is why we tell you, immediately you exit,
Create an
IPP, and then call off all these pensions from different schemes to be put under one account, so that you can be monitoring. That is why it is very, very key. So
and maybe just to add on what you're saying,
yes.
Remember this IPP or this pension is an investment account.
It's an investment.
It has growth.
Yeah, sure.
So the only way you can be able to check on the growth of your fund is when you have it in an IPP. Otherwise, if it's a normal pension, you don't have access to that information.
You don't have, because what happens, if you just left without creating this, if you left an employer and you've never bothered to follow on your pension, they're still investing that money, yes, but you don't have the right to this statement. What happens is they create kind of a gap here, that for you to access these, you must go back to your HR. And maybe you left there with a very bad blood. So, and you'll find that majority of people don't really do what?
Yes.
They rarely, or they hate going back to their former employers. It's like being told, burudi kwa high school yangu. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is why it is important.
Yes.
Yeah. So IPP helps you, number one, to consolidate. Number two, it helps you to track the growth of this investment, because as much as it's a pension kitty, remember it is growing on an annual basis. And last year, 2024, above almost every insurance company, they issued the interest rate on pension. Yeah. So majority, there is a company I saw with an interest rate of 13%, another one with 12.5%. There was another one with 15%. So that is why it is important. You contact someone, or you reach out to possibly ask if you trust on what we do, so that we can help you consolidate and put this money in a scheme that helps you or helps your money grow. Yeah.
All right. So I think that before we even continue, it's important to let people know that in as much as we are talking about how to consolidate this one, or maybe we are giving you this information, you can reach us out. The contact are in the description box. We can help you consolidate your pension schemes. Yes.
Yeah.
So what else did I want? Something else I wanted to know. Is it obvious that all employers have pension schemes, or is it a mandatory requirement for companies to have a pension fund?
As per the law today, what is only legally required for all the employers is NSSF, which is also a pension kitty. That one is a mandatory thing. But for private pension scheme, it's not mandatory. But you'll find that a lot of responsible employers may set up a pension fund to motivate its employees or to take care of their welfare after they have worked for them for possibly let's say 30 years. Do you tell that person now go home? No, you can't do that. So you will find that
most companies
have pension,
either pension or provident.
Yeah, and what you'll find is we really even think of that because after all, you cannot cash out. That is why we tend to neglect that portion. There is also something else I heard. You had asked me previously. What happens to your pension if you happen to die and you had not transferred to this IPP? So what happens is this: if you had not transferred your pensions to this IPP, is that because the only person who have right to this pension is the HR. Yeah. So upon the time of do I call it hitting 60 years or hitting the retirement?
Yes.
If you do not come to claim that fund, and if the nominated or designated beneficiary is not picking up, that money can only go to
unclaimed
asset. That is why it is very important that every year, as you set out your goals for that year, the very first thing is to update. You update your beneficiaries
every year.
Yeah, every year. And when you talk of a beneficiary, we are talking of every institution that holds your data.
Whether it's a bank, M-Pesa.
Yeah, we are talking of banks. We are talking of M-Pesa or Safaricom, M-Pesa. We are talking of insurance.
Yes.
We are talking of your HR. We are talking of SACCO. We are talking of this institution which you could have bought shares. So all these,
or even the government institutions, whether you are treasury board or treasury bills, all those, yes, all those accounts.
Make sure that you update,
keep updating,
every year your data for beneficiary, because we have a lot of billions lying idle, helping people who don't even need that money. Yet your children could be suffering. That is why it is important. And I must tell our guys, the ones who are listening to us, specifically for this, even after updating your beneficiary details, there is a certain form that you must fill in, and your banker can assist you with that, so that in the event of death, your beneficiary does not have to go to court. Otherwise, if you die, and even having updated this, your beneficiary cannot go back to that bank without the court. There's a document. There's a document that they must fill in from the court to certify, even if they have brought the death certificate. Yeah, so it's an important thing to fill in every year, so that the moment, because death is unpredictable, we really have a time even to plan ourselves. So you will find that you have a lot of money, and possibly your spouse only knows of one bank account, and yet you could be having several. So it's important that you fill in that document, so that every time in the moment or in the event something happens to you, your spouse or your children can access these funds. Yes.
Maybe someone now is watching and may understand, and now they are trying to recall how many players have been employed.
Yes.
So how is the process like? ama waanzie wapi? Someone
Yeah.
who really wants to like have this process begin.
Okay, if you want to start
Consolidating
these funds, the first thing is you need to fill in an IPP or individual pension fund, pension plan from a reputable insurance company. Yeah, we are talking of Britam, we have Jubilee, we have ICA, we have all those companies are quite reputable. But for us, if you give us the details of the institutions you have worked for before, we shall just issue instructions and tell them to transfer that fund with immediate effect, because we know how to go about this process.
Yes.
So if you really want help in consolidation, just reach us out, and we can help you.
Yes.
From point A to Z. You don't have to struggle going back. We shall just let them know that your former employee A want to transfer, and we want them to transfer to this particular account. But of course, we shall update you on every step of this process. Yeah.
As we wind up, we said for normal pension, there is the criteria of getting the money.
Yeah.
That you are given a lump sum.
To that day, you buy either annuity or IDD.
Yes. So for an IPP, how is the process of withdrawing?
So for IPP, what you do, upon reaching the retirement age, you can now access 100%. There's no doubt about it, because this is not considered a pension but a provident fund. Yes.
Okay.
And it is very seamless. Yes. The moment you hit 50, it's that way. But the beauty about IPP, it gives you an opportunity to top up. Remember the moment you exited, most likely you abandoned the conventional way of savings for your retirement, and no one is possibly putting anything in this. But it gives you an opportunity to be topping up every month, minimum being 500 bob. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
I think it's good that we leave our people at that point, so that we give them something to digest or to think about. So that if you want any assistance, at least with that information, you can always reach us out. Now, do not hesitate to ask questions. If you have not been satisfied by what we have given you today, you can always leave a question, whether on pension or any other thing touching on insurance, in the comment section. We'll be able to do detailed videos, because remember, we respond to your questions and we do detailed videos. So I hope we gave you value for your time. Or maybe do you have something else maybe you want to add?
No, not really. I just want to let our viewers know that we really care about them, and we want to give you information that can help you make good decisions.
Yes.
Because even if you do not transfer that money, remember at that age when you are tired, when you are possibly weak, you don't want a lot of what do I call it? Utaki kusumbuliwa sana.
Yes.
You are still being forced to go back to your employer, which most likely closed down. Or moved to a different region. Because we are experiencing a lot of difficulties, especially in Kenya. But
and companies are shutting down or even moving to other regions.
Yeah, sure. So what we want to help you in is to do it at the right time, when you still have energy. And when you can make good information. Good decisions. Sorry.
Yeah. Start putting that money together in one basket. You'll be able to track the growth of your money. And it will be very easy for you at the point of retirement or accessing that money to be very easy to get it from one account.
Absolutely.
Wow. So thank you very much for watching this video to the end, and I hope we gave you value for your time. And until we see you in the next one, God bless you and
bye.
Bye.